Okay folks, so here's the second and final lesson of the Euclidean algorithm. It's a nice wee short topic. So lesson 1, what we've done is we have found the greatest common divisor of two numbers. Okay, now that's your first 2 marks of any question. Here we're going to do those 2 marks and then do the last 2 marks. This is what all the exam questions look like. So feel free to pause the screen at this point and take a note of this into your notes jotter. I thought I would just save some time just by copy and paste it. So number 1, use the Euclidean algorithm to find integers a and b such that 2695a plus 1260b equals your greatest common divisor. Okay, so step 1 from this is going to be the exact same as lesson 1. Okay, we need to actually find out what is the greatest common divisor, okay, between these two numbers. Alright, so what we're going to do is always start with the bigger number. So 2695 equals something times the other number, so 1260, plus and then your remainder. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this part very quickly because you did learn this in lesson 1. Feel free again, pause the video and just work through this wee part yourself if you want to. I'm just going to work through it myself right now. Okay, so that's your first line. That's where you get your first mark from. Remember, the number in the middle gets shifted along to become your new number at the side. That remainder is being shifted to become the new middle number. Okay, here we go. So that's your first 2 marks here. So 1 mark for the top line, then 1 mark for the second line. We know to stop because you've got 0 as your remainder. So hence, we know that the last non-zero remainder, so i.e. this 35, I'm just going to highlight that, that is your greatest common divisor. Okay, so you don't need to explicitly state that now. Okay, that's your first 2 marks. Now, we need to find integers a and b such that something times your 2605, blah, 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 equals your greatest common divisor. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to actually work backwards. Okay, so I'm just going to write a note in here. So work backwards. Okay, so it's quite a strange technique, but the more you do it, the more it'll just become like dead quick for you. Okay, so you're going to start with your greatest common divisor, which we know is 35. That's going to be your left-hand side of the equation. Then what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite 35 in terms of all this line here. So you're looking at your middle line here. So we can rewrite 35 as 1260. Take away your 7 times 175. Okay, so basically you're just rearranging that equation essentially. You're taking your 7 times 175, subtracting that on both sides, and it leaves you with 35 by itself. Okay, that's actually your 3rd mark. So already you've picked up 3 marks out of 4. Okay, and then to get the final mark, this is where it gets a little bit confusing. Okay, so your 35 stays put here. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to go up to the next remainder. Okay, so you always move up to the next one. So the next one is 175. That's the next remainder. Okay, so we're going to 175 here, and it's just at that part there. So I'm going to keep everything the exact same apart from the part in the box. So you've still got 1260. Take away 7 times. Okay, so that 175, we're going to rewrite that in the same way that we rewrote 35. Okay, so it's going to be, right, if you want 175 by itself, you need to subtract your 2 times 1260 on both sides. Okay, so here's where I tend to open brackets. And then you're changing your 175 for 2695, take away 2 times 1260. Okay, so you can see what I've done here. I went up to the next remainder, which is 175, and I've literally kept everything the same apart from 175, and I've just rewrote that in terms of this. Okay, this is the part where it gets a little bit strange. So you need to go against all your instinct to get your calculator and multiply this out. Okay, you do not want to multiply this out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep the 1260 here. Then what I've got here is we're going to kind of multiply out this bracket, but not multiply out. Does that make sense? I don't know. So right now you've got take away 7 lots of 2,695. So we're going to write that like this. And if you multiply this out again, you've got take away 7 lots of minus 2 lots of 1,260. So because you've got, in fact I'm going to get highlighters. It's so hard to explain this, but not in person. So you get minus 7 lots of minus 2 lots of 1,260. So minus 7 times minus 2, that just gives you plus 14 lots of 1,260. Okay, so you're multiplying out but keeping it together in a way, right? Then what you need to do is you need to gather all your like terms. Okay, so if you look at this, I can see 1,260 there, and I can see 1,260 here. So right now at this part here, you have like there's nothing in front of it, so you've only got one lot of the 1,260, and here you've got 14 lots of that. So in total, if you bring them together, you've got 15 lots of 1,260. Because you get one there and you get 14 lots of that there, right? And then you've just got minus 7 lots of 2,695. Okay, once you've simplified, then you would go up to the next remainder, but there's no more remainders here because we are now at the top. Okay, so that's us nearly finished. So I need to rewrite this. If I go back up to the question, right, see if you look at this last line, I'm going to highlight it in pink. That part there, right? So equals the greatest common divisor. That's why we'll put 35 on that side. And then it says here 2,695a, right? So 2,695. A must be your minus 7. And then plus 1,260b, you've got 15 lots of 1,260, so that must be b in that case. So to finish off, let's just make it explicitly clear. So hence, A, I've forgotten that already. So A was with the 2,695, so that's going to be minus 7. And B must be 15 there. Okay, and the beauty about these questions is that you can always double check your answer. So see if you type all of this into your calculator, like 15 times 1,260, take away 7 times 2,695, you should get 35 as your answer. Okay, and if you're not getting 35, you know you've made a mistake here. Okay, so this sort of question is worth 4 marks. The first 3 are very easy to get, so 2 marks for the first part. Your third mark is just for setting up your working backwards part, and obviously your fourth mark is at the very end. Okay, right, what I'm going to do is go through one more question with you. This one is probably the most difficult one you're going to get. Okay, and then I'll do 2 past paper questions with you. So number 2, use the Euclidean algorithm to find integers of x and y such that 195x plus 239y equals 1. Okay, so this one's a little bit different because it doesn't equal like the letters G, C, D, but you know that 1 must be your greatest common divisor. Okay, So first 2 marks is the same as lesson 1. We're just going to set up the start of the Euclidean algorithm. So start with the biggest number, which is 239, equals something times 195 plus something. Alright, so feel free to pause the video at this point and get your first 2 marks in. I'm just going to work through this in silence, just with my calculator. So I want you guys to do the same. Okay, so that's your first 2 marks here. Okay, so your greatest common divisor is obviously 1, okay, which we know that already. Quite nice actually for 2 marks, isn't it? And then your third mark, again, is quite nice. So you're going to take that 1, and that goes on your left hand side, and you're going to rewrite the 1 as 19 take away 3 times 6. That's your third mark. Okay, and then it's a lot more work to get your 4th mark. Okay, so what we're going to do is you always move up 1. Okay, so right now we'll re-roll 1 in terms of this. Then I'm going to move up to the 6. Okay, so wherever you see a 6, you're changing it for 44, take away 2 times 19. Okay, so everything else stays the same. So 1 equals 19, take away 3 times, open brackets, right, rewrite your 6 as 44, take away 2 times 19. Right, now see before you move up to the 19, always simplify, because honestly it gets so messy if you don't simplify as you go along. Okay, so what I mean by simplify is let's multiply out these brackets. So you've still got 19 take away, right? We've got 3 lots of 44. Then you've got take away 3 lots of, take away 2 lots of 19. So minus 3 times minus 2, it just gives you plus 6 times 19. Simplify before you move up onto the 19. So if you look at this, I can see a 19 at the start there, and I can see a 19 at the end. There's nothing in front of this 19, so we've got 1 lot of that right now. Here I've got 6 lots of this 19. So in total, you're going to have 7 lots of 19. And then you've still got your minus 3 times 44. Right, there's nothing else I can do here because all the numbers are different. Right, then what you're going to do is move up to your next remainder. So now you're going to look at the 19. So whenever you see a 19 and you should only see it in one place, you're going to change it for 195, take away 4 times 44. Here is where it starts to get a little bit messy. Okay, so whenever it's 19, I am just going to open brackets, then change it for 195, take away 4 times 44. Remember, everything else stays the same. Right, let's multiply these brackets. So I've got 7 lots of 195. Then you're going to have 7 lots of minus 4 lots of 44. So 7 times minus 4 just gives you minus 28 times 44. You've still got your minus 3 times 44 at the end. Right, let's simplify here so I can see what we've got here. So I've got minus 28 lots of 44, and I've got minus 3 lots of 44. So minus 28 minus 3 gives you minus 31. So minus 31 lots of 44. Just like this. Okay, all the numbers are different, so I'm going to move up to the final remainder, which is 44. So wherever I see a 44, I'm going to just put the enter. I'm just going to change that for 239, take away 1 times 195. So it's 239, take away 1 times 195. Okay, so let's multiply out that bracket. So everything else stays the same. Okay, so I've got minus 31 times 239. Then I've got minus 31, lots of minus 1 times 195. So minus 31 times minus 1 just gives you plus 31 times 195. Right, let's gather like terms. Okay, so I can see 195 twice here. So right now I've got 7 lots of that here. And at the end here I've got 31 lots of 195. So 7 add 31 just gives you 38 lots of 195. And then that middle part can just stay as minus 31 times 239. And there's nothing else because all numbers are different. Can I sub in anything else? Nope, because that was my last remainder that I used. So it was x and y in question. So just explicitly say x equals something and y equals something. So x was a number attached to the 195, which is going to be 38, which must mean that the y is minus 31, and then that's your fourth mark here. And if you want to double check your answer, just type in this final line into your calculator and you should get 1 as your answer. Okay, right, let's start doing a past paper question. So all the past paper questions are laid out the exact same way. Okay, and they always say to you, use the Euclidean algorithm. Alright, so this is the 2018 past paper. So you use a Euclidean algorithm to find integers a and b such that blah 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 blah. Happy days. Right, let's get started. Okay, so you're going to focus on this part here first of all, right? And we're hoping for 17 as our greatest common divisor. Okay, so focus on those two numbers. Start with the bigger number, which is 306. And we're going to do the first part of the Euclidean algorithm. So something times 119 plus something else. Okay, so here is where obviously get our calculators. Don't do it in your heads, there's no point, trust me. Okay, so that goes in twice. Let's work out our remainder. Gives you 68. Okay, that's your first mark. Just put a wee tick for wee one. First mark. Right, number in the middle gets shifted along here. Number at the end is now your middle number. Okay, again, feel free to pause this and try it yourself. I'm just going to work through it in silence. Okay, so that's the first part finished. You're actually getting your second mark when you get your greatest common divisor, but I would always go on and get to 0 just so you know that you're getting there. Okay, right, so we were expecting 17 anyway, because that's in the question. So what you're going to do now is, I'm just going to get my highlighter if it works, and we're going to rewrite this line here with 17 at this side, because that is your greatest common divisor. So it's going to be rewritten as 68 take away 1 times 51. Okay, so in this question, you're not actually getting your third mark at this stage. I'll let you know when you are getting your third mark. Okay. Right, So what we're going to do now is we're going to move up to the next remainder, which is 51. So whenever you see a 51, rewrite it in terms of this line here. So 17 equals 68, take away 1 times, open brackets, rewrite 51 as 119, take away 1 times 68. Multiply out the brackets now. So 68 take away, so you get one lot of 119. Then you get minus 1 times minus 1, so that just gives you plus 1 lot of 68. Once you've multiplied out your brackets, simplify. So I can see a 68 at the start and 1 at the end, so that means that I've got one lot of this 68 and I've got one lot of that 68, which means I've got two lots of 68. Take away 1 times 119. Right, that's where you get your third mark from. Just starting to do this. Right, back up to the start, you're going to move up to your next remainder, which is 68. So whenever you see that, change it for just in terms of that line there. Okay, so whenever you see a 68, I'm going to change that as 306. Take away 2 times 119. Then everything else stays the same. So multiply the brackets now. So you get two lots of 306. Then you get two lots of minus two lots of that. 2 times minus 2 gives you minus 4 times 119. And you just get this bit at the end here. And then can you see any number that's written twice? And it's the 119. So I've got minus 4 lots of this. Take away one lot of 119. So that part gives me minus 5 lots of that. So minus 5 lots of 119. Right, back up. Right, there's nowhere else I can go here. So is that us finished? Let's see. So I want 306 and I want 119 in their final answer. Yeah, so let's find integers a and b. So let's just write down ... a equals and b equals. So a was the number attached to the 306, which must be 2. And then b's number, obviously, is attached to 119, which is minus 5. And that's your fourth mark here. Okay, so that's how you do that sort of question. Right, I am going to do one more past paper question with you, just so you get used to the style of these questions, and then you can try some by yourself. So this is 2017. Question 8. As you can see, it's still worth 4 marks here. So use a Euclidean algorithm, blah blah blah. Right. Focus on your left hand side and do the first part. So write down the bigger number first of all. So 1595 equals something times 1218 plus something else. Right, let's fill in the blanks. So obviously it's 1 times that. $377. That's your first mark. Okay, then this number in the middle gets shifted along to the side. Your remainder is now going to be shifted to the middle. Okay, guys, feel free at this point to pause the video and try this bit by yourself. Just realised I made a mistake there. That's not 207. It's 87. Oops, sorry guys. I must have just typed that in my calculator wrong. Okay. There we go. So that goes in exact. Right. Your second mark comes from when you get 29 as your greatest common divisor here. And if you're not getting 29 anywhere, like before I made a mistake, probably wasn't going to get 29, I probably wasn't going to get a 0 then, that's when you know you've made a mistake. Okay. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the line that's got our greatest common divisor in. So 29 equals, let's get that line rewritten as 377, take away 4 times 87. Okay, still not getting your third mark. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to the next remainder, which was 87. So wherever you see 87, just here, we are going to change it just in terms of this line here. So 29 equals 377, take away 4 times, open bracket, this line I've got 1218, take away 3 times 377. That's where your third mark in this question comes from. Okay, right, multiply the brackets and then simplify. Okay, so minus 4 times 1218, then you get minus 4 times minus 3, so that gives you plus 12 lots of 377. Then what you're going to do is you're going to simplify. So at the start here you've got 1 lot of that 377, then here you've got 12 lots of this, so in total you get 13 lots of 377. And you've still got your minus 4 times 1218. Right, then what you do is you go back up to the first part of the question and you're going to go up to your next remainder. So you're looking at 377. So wherever you see that, you're just going to rewrite that line in terms of that. So everything else can stay the exact same. So 29 equals 13 times, open brackets, again change your 377 for that. So 1595, take away 1 times 1218, keep everything else the same. Alright, we're going to multiply the brackets and then simplify. So you've got 13 lots of 1595, then here you've got 13 lots of minus 1 lot of this, so it gives you minus 13 lots of 1218. The end part can stay the same. And then gather like terms. So what number can I see twice here? I can see the 1218. I've got minus 13 lots of this, and I've got minus 4 lots of that. So in total it's minus 17 lots. So minus 17 lots of this. Go back up here, right, there's nowhere else for us to go. You should have a 1595 in your answer, and that's with your A, and then your B. Excellent. So just to finish off, explicitly say that A equals 13, and B equals negative 17 for this, and that's going to be your fourth mark. So as you can see, all of these questions follow the exact same format. They are easy 4 marks that you should be picking up, and that can bump your grade up massively because it's easy. You remember the skill, and that's your sorted with these 4 marks. Okay, and again, there's no reason why you should get these wrong, because you can type in the last line in your calculator and you should get 29 as your answer. And if you're not getting that, then you know you've made a mistake, so you know you can go back and check. Okay. Now, what I've got here are some more past paper questions, so feel free to pause the video at this point and take a screenshot. These are the ones I want you to complete. There are more questions on the free Advanced Higher Maths website, so you can pick up more. As you can see, they are all the exact same format, pretty much. Okay, and it's easy 4 marks for all of these. So if you need me to do like a wee video to show you how to do any more, then please let me know and I can give you a hand. Okay, but that is us finished for the Euclidean algorithm.